Writers, how did you do with your lowercase t's and your words? Let me take a look. Did you remember to cross all your t's? And then one more time before we move to the uppercase letters. On quart, did you remember? Up and over. Swing back around. Up to the middle of the line. Drop below the baseline. Ready. Backward loop. To the baseline. Kick out tail. Becomes the slant to the top. Kick out tail. Cross the T. So take a quick look. Did your quart have that backward loop? Then, scholars, we're going to the uppercase P, and you probably already noticed on the uppercase P, right? It looks very much like a printed P. But remember, there's going to be that little bit of a slant to it. Watch me do one trace and try, just so you know where to start and what to do. And then we'll be ready. So, starting at the top line, slant to the baseline, back up, around. Oops, I forgot to trace it. I just tried one without tracing one. So I'll trace. Starting at the top line, slant to the baseline, back up, around. So scholars, the uppercase P does not connect to the next letter. So you'll see that it's just written comfortably close. Probably a little closer than what this one is showing. All right, so starting at the top line, slant to the baseline, back up, around. Now notice when I do my around, right, I touch the top line and I touch the middle dotted line. Starting at the top line, slant to the baseline, back up, around. Ready? Pencils are up. Starting at the top line, we're going to trace, slant to the baseline, back up, around. Let's try. Starting at the top line, slant to the baseline, back up, around. Trace, starting at the top line, slant to the baseline, back up, around. Starting at the top line, slant to the baseline, back up, around. One more pair, trace and try. Starting at the top line, slant to the baseline, back up, around. Starting at the top line, slant to the baseline, back up, around. So scholars, you are going to go ahead and, of course, write your uppercase P, trace 1, try at least 6, and then you have the word pod. Now, to write pod, right, starting at the top line, slant to the baseline, back up, around. I'm going to pick up my pencil, and then I'm going to start my O of pod comfortably close, closer than they did. Starting at the baseline, up and over, swing back around to the baseline, up to that middle line, kick out tail. Scholars, remember the kick out tail is going to become the up and over, so it's more of just an over. Swing back around to the baseline, up to the top line, back to the baseline for the kick out tail. So go ahead, write your trace and try 6 and your pod, and then we'll continue. You go ahead and pause there. Take a look. How did you do? Check to see. Does the head of your P touch the top line? Right? Does the lower part of the head of your P, right, touch the dotted line? Let's go to the uppercase T. uppercase T. Ooh, a tasty treat. So uppercase T, scholars, watch me trace and try a couple of these. Make sure you're following along, watching my steps. So pencils are down. I'm starting at the top line. I'm slanting to the baseline. So this is a lot like I'm making the P we just made. But when I get closer to the baseline, I'm going to curve, point, kick out. Then I'm going to pick up my pencil and put on the hat. Watch me try one. Starting at the top line, slanting to the baseline, curve, point, kick out, hat. So notice the hat gets a little bump and dip, kind of like a hill and a valley, right? So starting at the top line, slanting to the baseline, but curve, point, kick out, hat with a hill and valley. Starting at the top line, slanting to the baseline, curve, point, kick out, hat, hill, and valley. All right, ready? Let's trace one together. You can pick up your pencils now. Check that slant of your paper. Left-handed slant, right-handed slant. Remember, mine's going to be slanted this way. I'm left-handed. So I'm starting at the top line. We're tracing, scholars. Slanting to the baseline, curve, point, kick out, hat, hill, and valley. Starting at the top line, slanting to the baseline, curve, point, kick out, hat. Check to see, did you do a hill and a valley? Tracing, starting at the top line, slanting to the baseline, curve, point, kick out, hat. Starting at the top line, slanting to the baseline, curve, point, kick out, hat, hill, and valley. One more to trace and try. Here we go, scholars. Starting at the top line, slanting to the baseline, curve, point, kick out, hat. Starting at the top line, slanting to the baseline, curve, point, kick out, hat. Now, scholars, you are going to write your trace and try, right? Tracing 1, trying 6. And then here when you get to the word top, this part did not seem to go so well. So I want you to watch me do top because we're not going to actually put the hat on until the end. So I'm going to start at the top line, slant, curve, point, kick out. And now, scholars, you'll notice this kick out is connected to the O. You can stop there and then do the O comfortably close, or you can continue through and do the up and over. Swing back around to the baseline, up to that middle deadline, kick out. Now remember that kick out is going to become the drop for the P. Back up, around, touch back, kick out. Then I pick up my pencil and go back to put on the hat, hill and valley. All right. So tracing 1, trying at least 6, and then you want to have at least 2 of the word top, and then double check that you have completed all the parts on both pages. Take photos of the P page and the T page and submit those 2 photos. That's your assignment for today. Thanks for joining me for another cursive lesson.